The film begins with a journalist named Laura returning to the newspaper from a business trip in England. It's clear that Laura is skilled at her job, as shown by her colleagues congratulating her on her latest article. Then Laura meets the newspaper's editor-in-chief and tells her that her nerves are on edge because the woman who spoke to Laura and told her about the crime details was killed in front of her eyes. The editor-in-chief tells her that this always happens in their line of work. She suggests that she take a vacation and relax, but Laura tells her that she received an invitation from the famous billionaire named Richard. He is asking her to go on a trip on his yacht over the weekend because he is hosting a charity fundraising party, and this party is held in honor of his wife, whose name is Anne, because she is suffering from cancer and is about to die. The next day we see Laura on the boat with her colleague, a journalist named Adam, and they are heading to Richard's yacht. As soon as they get on the yacht, the staff welcomes Laura. However, they strangely ask her to take off her shoes. Here, Laura learns that this behavior is part of the traditions of boarding luxury yachts. Since it's her first time on a wealthy person's yacht, she didn't know this. After Laura overcomes this embarrassing situation, she meets a doctor named Meta and learns that he is personally overseeing Anne's treatment. Additionally, he has been her husband Richard's friend for years. After Laura finishes her conversation with Meta, she is surprised to find her ex-boyfriend named Ben on the yacht. And we learn here that Ben works as a photojournalist and that he and Laura separated a long time ago. Currently, he works as a private photographer for wealthy people's parties, and Ben tries to take the opportunity to rekindle his relationship with Laura. However, Laura politely rejects him and leaves. After that, Adam takes her and introduces her to the famous fashion designer named Heidi, who knows Laura and has heard about her before, the Olena Edin Ayase. And she introduces her to her husband Tom and tells her that he wants to write his memoirs and won't find a journalist better than her to do it. So Laura is pleased and promises them that she will meet their expectations. Then all the guests gather together and Richard comes and welcomes them all, telling them that he is inviting them to a dinner party tonight. After that, there will be a big gathering at his house on the island they are going to. At that time, his wife will appear herself at a big party to give a thank you speech to them. Then the yacht crew takes the guests to their cabins. It is clear that Laura is very happy with this trip. At night, she puts on an evening dress and leaves the cabin to attend the dinner party. At that same moment, Ben is walking down the corridor and shows his colleague an old photo with Laura, telling her that he broke up with her because she was always stressed and exhausted due to her work. When Laura hears this, she feels embarrassed and goes into cabin number 10 to hide from Ben and his colleague. At that moment, the girl in the cabin is surprised as soon as she sees Laura. But Laura apologizes to her for what happened, so the girl accepts her apology and leaves her, then goes into the bathroom. After that, Laura goes to the dinner party and is surprised to find that everyone is dressed casually, while she is the only one in an evening gown. Nevertheless, everyone is impressed by her beauty and elegance. During dinner, a member of the yacht crew comes and informs Laura that Anne wants to meet her after dinner. During the meeting, Anne asks Laura to review the speech she will deliver in front of the guests. At that time, Laura learns that she will donate all her wealth to charity. She says that this decision will not please her husband Richard because he is greedy for her wealth and is waiting for her to die soon so he can inherit it. While she is talking, she becomes ill and starts coughing heavily, so Laura tries to help her and wants to call the doctor to see her. But Anne stops her and tells her that she has stopped taking her medication because she is tired of the medicine and has accepted her fate, so Laura decides to leave her to rest a little. But before Laura leaves, she tells her that they will continue their conversation the next day. Laura agrees, leaves, and walks away. At night, Laura is sleeping in her bed but wakes up to the sound of a woman screaming in the cabin next to hers. She gets up and opens the balcony to find out what's happening. Suddenly, she hears the sound of someone being thrown into the sea, but she doesn't manage to see who it was. Laura is shocked when she sees a handprint smeared with blood on the glass barrier separating a balcony from the one next to it after the stores at the land was handed. So she immediately contacts the yacht crew and informs them that someone was thrown into the sea from cabin number 10. They activate the alarms and initiate the emergency protocol immediately. They turn on all the ship's lights and search the water for the person who was thrown overboard. They didn't find anyone in the water at all, so they wake up all the passengers to check on them. After that, Richard goes with the yacht captain and the security supervisors to talk to Laura. Laura is shocked when the yacht captain tells her that there was no guest in cabin number 10 because the guest who was supposed to stay there cancelled an hour before the trip. Laura is shocked and describes to them the girl she saw in cabin number 10 when she hid from Ben. And she tells them that she didn't see her among the guests when she first arrived at the yacht. At that moment, Laura remembers the handprint that was on the glass and takes the yacht captain to show it to him. But she is shocked when she finds the fingerprint has disappeared. At that moment, the yacht captain receives confirmation that all the passengers are present on the yacht. So everyone understands that Laura must have been imagining things, and they leave her while she remains confused and tense. The next day, Laura talks to Richard and tells him that she is sure she saw the girl in cabin number 10 and asks him to show her all the yacht crew members because she suspects the missing girl might be one of them. So to reassure her, Richard gathers all the crew members so she can confirm that the girl she is talking about is not there. Laura indeed confirms that the girl she saw is not part of the yacht crew at all. Although she hasn't reached any conclusion, she later meets Ben and reviews all the photos he took since they boarded the yacht. By chance, she sees the girl she saw in cabin number 10 in one of the photos Ben took at one of Richard's parties at his house. So she quickly runs to talk to Richard and asks him if he knows this girl, but he tells her that she is one of the guests from a party he held 5 months ago and he definitely wouldn't remember who she is. Here, Dr. Mehta talks to Laura and tells her that she is having hallucinations because she is suffering from post-traumatic stress effects, especially after she saw the woman who was killed in front of her eyes in England. He tells her that they understand her situation and appreciate what she is going through. But Laura is not convinced by his words, and her doubt increases even more. She insists on uncovering the truth and sneaks into cabin number 10 from the balcony of her own cabin. As soon as she enters, she starts searching the cabin for any evidence that might help her until she finds a lock of the girl's hair inside a hole in the sink. After that, Laura shows the hair strands to Ben and tells him that this proves the girl was actually in cabin number 10. So someone on the yacht is the one who killed her. And since everyone on the yacht denied seeing her, the criminal must be one of the rich people who paid them off so no one would talk. And although Ben believes her, he warns her and asks her to stop investigating this crime and to completely ignore the matter because she is no match for the wealthy people on the yacht. Even the least of them could completely ruin her life. But Laura doesn't listen to him and insists on continuing her path. The next day, she goes to the yacht crew, shows them a picture of the girl, and asks if any of them saw her on the yacht during the trip, but none of them recognize her. When she returns to her cabin, she notices that it is cleaned and well organized, which makes her anxious. She goes to check for the lock of hair she hid in the bathroom sink. She feels relieved when she finds it in its place, takes it, and decides to keep it in her jacket to protect it. At that moment, she finds a shirt button on the floor, picks it up and puts it in the evidence bag she has with her. Then she goes to stand on the deck of the yacht. Suddenly, someone comes from behind her, pushes her, and she falls into the swimming pool. Then he closes the pool cover to drown and kill her. Fortunately, the pool has a glass window overlooking the guest room inside the yacht. At that moment, Heidi sees Laura and calls for help. Laura is saved from death at the last moment. Afterwards, Laura tells them that someone tried to kill her, but no one on the yacht believes her. At that moment, Laura notices that there is a button torn from Dr. Mehta's shirt, so she accuses him of being in her room during her absence. When he denies it, Laura asks about her jacket that contains the evidence. The security officer tells her that they took it to be washed, so Laura runs quickly to the laundry and searches for the evidence bag but can't find it anywhere. At night, Laura sits in the cabin, scared and terrified after what happened to her. Suddenly, someone knocks on the cabin door and runs away, so Laura leaves the cabin and runs after them until they reach the maintenance room. There, Laura is shocked when she confronts the girl she saw in cabin number 10. The bigger shock is when she discovers that she is not Richard's wife and gets a strong hit on her head. After a little while, Laura wakes up and finds herself trapped inside a room on the yacht's floor. Then, Anna comes to check on her, showing that she sympathizes with her and doesn't want her to get hurt because of her. So she decides to confess the truth to her. And we learn here that this woman is not Anne, Richard's wife, but someone who looks a lot like Anne, and her name is Carrie. We go back in time with Laura and find out that Richard discovered Anne's plan to donate all her wealth to charity organizations. So he decides to come up with a plan to get rid of her, and he uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition software, searching the internet for someone who looks exactly like Anne until he finds Carrie. He pays her a lot of money to impersonate his wife for one day. He needs her to sign a contract relinquishing Anne's entire fortune, and on the day of the yacht trip he made her hide in cabin number 10. But Richard's plan failed. This happened when Anne saw him with Carrie in the cabin. This made Richard attack her and kill her. Then he throws her into the sea in front of Carrie, who is of course terrified by what is happening in front of her. And currently Carrie continues talking and tells Laura that she never imagined Richard would kill his wife. All she wanted was to get money so she could give her daughter a good life. Laura tells her that she must report to the police and informs her that Richard might kill her after she signs the waiver. But Carrie refuses and tells her that Richard might harm her daughter and it's better to do what he wants in the hope that she will live a good life with her daughter. After that, Carrie tells Laura that they are almost at the island and says she will leave the room door open for her to escape before Richard or anyone with him sees her. Then she leaves her and walks away. At that time, Richard discovers that Laura has been missing for a while. He orders Mehta to find her and get rid of her before they reach the island. So Mehta follows his orders and searches for her everywhere on the yacht. Meanwhile, Laura has left the room and goes to Anu's cabin, takes the speech she was going to give at the party and keeps it. When she leaves the cabin, she finds Mehta in front of her holding a syringe with a toxic substance. Laura tries to escape from him but finds the yacht captain in front of her and he attacks her and grabs her before she can escape from them. Mehta tries to inject her with the poison to kill her, but suddenly Ben arrives and hits Mehta, pushing him away from Laura. However, Mehta accidentally injects the poison into his own neck, causing Ben to fall to the ground from the poison's effect. Meanwhile, Laura hits the yacht captain, gets rid of him and runs to Ben to check on him. She is shocked and devastated by what happened to him. But Ben asks her to escape quickly, so she listens to him and runs fast, jumping into the sea. She swims with all her strength until she reaches the island. There she finds a hut in front of her. Luckily, it's empty and no one is inside. She quickly lights a fire to warm herself. At that time, Richard and his guests have arrived at the island. At that time, Mehta informs Richard about what happened. He tells him that Laura can't withstand the cold water and will die frozen. However, he doesn't know that Laura has left the hut and is on her way to Richard's house. Then we see Carrie signing papers to relinquish her wealth to Richard in front of the lawyer. After that, Laura manages to sneak into Richard's house and meets Saji, the personal bodyguard, and tells her everything that happened. To make her believe, she shows her the speech she was planning to give at the party. The time for the party comes and Richard stands next to Carrie in front of all the guests to thank them for attending the party. And suddenly, Laura appears among the attendees and goes to take the mic from Richard, exposing him in front of everyone present. He tries to deny her words and asks security to take her out.
but he is shocked when Carrie stops them and tells them to leave her. Richard then grabs a knife and holds it to her neck, saying in front of everyone that this is not Anne and that she is an impostor. And after he exposes himself, he uses it to escape the place without anyone confronting him. But Laura runs after him and catches up with him at the boat he plans to escape with. At the same time, she arrives and shoots him in the shoulder. Laura asks Richard to let Carrie go and surrender himself. However, he ignores her and grabs Carrie, trying to strangle her. So Laura hits him on the head and finishes him off. Days later, we see Laura in her office reviewing the article explaining what happened in cabin number 10. We learn that Anne's money was donated to cancer research organizations, and that the yacht captain was arrested and they will be brought to trial. At that time, Carrie calls Laura and tells her that she is living a happy and peaceful life with her daughter, and the film ends.